Hey everyone, it's Tom here from thisonlineworld.com. I hope you're having a great day today. There's a saying that defense wins championships, and honestly the same is true for your finances. You just can't out-earn bad spending habits. So in today's video, we're gonna look at 10 different money saving tips you can use to keep more of your hard-earned money each month. Be sure to watch this video until the end because we're gonna cover the basics really quick, but we're also gonna throw in a few different tricky money saving ideas you can use to keep more of your money in your wallet. Without further ado, let's get to the video. So I've seen a lot of other money saving tip videos out there, and usually they focus on kind of the three basic principles you need to save more money each month. Those are budgeting, living within your means or being frugal, and investing. This is kind of the foundation of how you save more money. If you're not budgeting or tracking your spending or investing your money, making small tweaks to your finances is still kind of a losing battle because you need these core principles to actually save money. So I'm gonna link some useful reads down below. I definitely recommend checking them out if you don't know how to budget yet. So read those first and then come back and watch this video because these tips are all about going the extra mile with your savings. Let's get to it. So the first money saving tip relates to the idea of eating out and how you can avoid spending money on fast food purchases or going to restaurants all the time. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average person spends about $3,500 on food away from home per year. That is a massive expense, but a lot of guides all say, stop eating out, just don't eat out and you'll save money. It's like, we understand that as consumers, but it's sometimes difficult to put these things into practice. The real question is, how do you go about this? Oh, wow, well, thank you to Hot Pockets for sponsoring this video. I'm just kidding around. Hot Pockets, as delicious as they are not sponsoring this video, but no, the idea of buying what I'm gonna call emergency food, like these Hot Pockets, and stuffing them in the back of your freezer is honestly how I went from eating out pretty frequently to, having a bit of emergency food on hand that would at least be cheaper and maybe not as bad as just ordering, from McDonald's when I was starving. Here's the thing, it's honestly not that hard to prevent yourself from eating out at work, right? You just make your lunch the night before, bring it to work, and then you're good to go. Like, get into that habit, it'll save you a lot of money in the long run. The real trouble comes from when you come home from work or you come home from the bar or something like that, and you're just exhausted, it's late, you have no energy to cook. I'm sure you can relate if you have a full-time job or you're a college student or high school student even. You inevitably open your Uber Eats app, you spend $30, and next thing you know, you just have a bunch of buyer's remorse and some shawarma. That's really about it. So I spend like $2 on emergency food like this, or I get like thin crust pizzas or even frozen meals. They're not great for you, but they're cheap and they're, not as bad as a lot of fast food items. I recommend doing the same thing because having this kind of like emergency stash of food will help you a lot when you come home and you're just so tired and you have no energy left to cook. Not a great fix, it's a bit of a band-aid solution, but nobody's perfect. But if you want to actually avoid eating out, I definitely recommend this trick. It saves me a lot of money. I barely use Uber Eats anymore. I just stick to frozen meals when I'm absolutely exhausted. The second money-saving tip in this video is to use Amazon Subscribe and Save or different subscription programs to save money. I'm gonna focus on Amazon's program because it's actually new to me. I didn't really know about it, and I think it's pretty sweet. Online shopping is already great for comparing deals. You don't have to go to the store. It's easy, it's convenient. It's what we're already doing already. But you might not know that you can actually save up to 15 or even 20% just by subscribing to Everyday Essentials on Amazon through their Subscribe and Save program. Amazon now has a pretty extensive category of everyday essentials you can subscribe to. You get 5% off each item, but when you hit 5 items or more delivering to the same address, that moves up to 15%. If you're a Prime member, you can even get 20% on select categories like baby products and a few other categories. Shipping is free. You can edit or cancel your orders at any time. And I definitely recommend checking out Amazon Subscribe and Save because I think it's the way of the future, honestly. Like, it's so efficient and you're not wasting gas. You can get everyday essentials like toilet paper, certain grocery items, or cleaning products just sent to your household, and you're not wasting time. You're saving up to 20%, and it's pretty much a no-brainer. Useful money-saving tip: get online, get on Amazon, and start subscribing for everyday essentials. All right, money-saving tip number 3 relates to alcohol. Now, I like drinking and having a couple of beers with some friends as much as the next person, but it's honestly one of the major places where I think people lose a lot of their monthly income and ability to save without really realizing it. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, consumers spend about 1% of their total annual income on alcohol. For the average household, that's nearly $600, and if you extend that over the course of 10 years, you're looking at about $6,000 worth of spending on alcohol. A lot of videos that cover different money-saving tips say just don't drink. which I think is a bit extreme. And you know, I like alcohol. Alcohol's fun. You can definitely have a glass of wine with dinner, or you know, have alcohol in your budget without it destroying your finances. Personally, my recommendation here is just not to drink throughout the week, or alternatively, you can set a number of drinks you're allowed per week and decide how you divvy that up. Personally, what I find tough is buying alcohol in bulk is way cheaper and more frugal than buying 6-packs or singles all the time. When I buy alcohol, I buy a 2-4. One simple trick that I use to basically make sure I don't drink during the week is I just keep most of my beer warm, as gross as that is. And then when Friday rolls around, or you know, I'm getting ready for the weekend, I throw some beer in my fridge, or if I know I have company coming over, I'll put beer in the fridge so I can be a decent host. During the week, it's not so easy for me to just reach in my fridge, grab a beer, and then next thing you know, I'm blowing through a 2-4 every week or two. Put sticky notes on your beers if you need, or your alcohol in the fridge, whatever you have to do. You know, set a moderate limit for yourself, and in the long run, this will truly make an impact on how much money you save each month. All right, so the fourth money-saving tip in this video is just to try DIY home solutions more often. I'm no Mike Holmes, and I'm not talking about, you know, redoing your entire apartment or being the, you know, the most handy person in the world to turn to DIY solutions to save money. If you're handy, that's great. You can probably save quite a bit of money in the course of your life, you know, just by doing repairs yourself or home improvement projects yourself. But I'm just talking about simple ways the average person can save money, and I think the main way to do that is just to DIY some of your own products that you would normally buy from the store. Here are 2 common ones that I use, and I'm trying to get more involved with this. First one is honestly just a cleaning supply, and this is just Dawn water and vinegar. You might go to the store and buy a cleaning product that costs a few dollars, but with just some cheap products you already have on hand, you can make your own bathroom cleaner. That's what I've been doing. It's a pretty popular, you know, cleaning hack. You can look on Pinterest for inspiration if you ever want more ideas or examples of how to DIY your own supplies to save money. Another common one is just making your own, you know, salad dressings or things like that. Like, you don't have to always buy pre-packaged goods at the store if you can just make a simple alternative at home with ingredients you always have. And if you buy shredded cheese in a bag, stop watching. I don't know why you buy shredded cheese in a bag. It's lovely, I know, but it's like 3 times the price, and you should be ashamed of yourself. None of these money-saving tips or DIY hacks are gonna make you a millionaire. That's not the point of this video. This is just another kind of mindset to adopt, or a different strategy you can use to keep more of your hard-earned money. And it's honestly a little bit of fun to kind of get creative sometimes and to make your own stuff. So try it out. Let me know in the comments if there's a DIY product you use or a DIY saving hack you've tried before, because I would personally love to learn more. The 5th money-saving idea on this list is to just entertain at home more often. I think we watch movies when we're growing up, and we see adults and, you know, people throwing fancy parties, and they're going out to clubs and bars all the time, and that's how they meet up and stay in touch and celebrate. This is a ton of fun, don't get me wrong. Like, when I see my friends, a lot of the times we do go to restaurants or we go to events, and it's a really great way to stay connected with people. But as my friends started getting older and we graduated college and we started learning a bit more about money, we also realized there's nothing wrong with just having a cheap board game night at someone's house, or a really inexpensive cottage weekend. You don't always have to go to the bars. You don't always have to throw these parties where, you know, you buy all this food and this booze. You can keep things small, you can keep things pretty modest, and there's still a lot of fun, and it's honestly really great for everyone's wallet. I'm a fan of potlucks personally. I think that's another cheap idea. So kind of just shift your mindset from you have to be balling out all the time to, hey, you can entertain at home and it can be affordable. All right, number 6 on this list of money saving tips is to start thrifting more often. I'm pretty guilty of this because for my whole life, without really realizing, I've just bought fast fashion, and I didn't really understand that by thrifting, you can not only save money, you can also just reuse clothing and kind of get better quality clothing, you know, in the first place that lasts longer and looks better. It's not always easy to not buy fast fashion when you look at expensive brands or handmade clothing, so I think thrifting falls in a nice middle ground between these 2 categories. Thrifting was really popular in my college town. I, again, did not really thrift too much. It's something I'm trying to do more. You can easily find anything you need to wear, or, you know, clothing for an upcoming season at a thrift store and save a lot of money in the process. I think the quality of clothing is higher, and if you haven't tried it before, make it a habit the next time you go shopping for clothing, and I think you might be surprised at what you can find. All right, idea number 7 on this list of money-saving tips is to get in the habit of giving yourself a day to think about major purchases. If you don't give yourself enough time and you live a very rushed and hectic life and you're buying things at the last minute because you forgot someone's gift, this isn't really on the table. But if you're good at planning and you generally give yourself a bit of runway when making purchasing decisions, you're then able to take a step back and to hold off for a day and to to really evaluate if you need to buy something. So I like to give myself about a day. You know, I'll go to the mall, I'll see some clothing, or when I was thinking about buying my laptop, I took a day or two to really think about the purchase. I kind of weigh the pros and cons, I think about what it'll do to my finances, and then I decide to either purchase it or not. It's a simple trick, but if you can give yourself more time to make these decisions, it's honestly going to prevent you from buying a lot of stuff you don't need in the first place. All right, the 8th money saving tip in this video is honestly just to clean up your social media feed a little bit and to kind of respect yourself a little bit more. I used to follow a lot of brands and influencers for, you know, different athletic clubs or different, you know, clothing companies I shopped at and enjoyed. Over time, I started to realize my Instagram feed was just basically another commercial reel. According to LinkedIn, we already see more than 5,000 ads per day. So I think we're kind of capped out on the ads we need to see. You can definitely do with clearing some of them out of your Instagram feed. Simple tip again, but if you feel like you're being advertised to constantly, just ditch it. You know, unfollow people or unsubscribe from emails. It'll kind of lead to less clutter in your brain and you'll just be advertised to less directly, and I think it's a good move for your finances in the long run. Number 9 on this list of money saving tips is again just another little like mind shift tweak you can make that is going to make a dramatic impact for how much money you can save each month. And the idea here is just to think of things in hours worked or hours of life you're expending for something rather than dollar signs. Since I got into freelancing and moved away from salary to, you know, hourly, it's really helped open my eyes in terms of, you know, picturing things in terms of how much you've actually worked for something. It's a really powerful psychological trick. Like, it makes you start to think, like, was that $100 bar tab worth the X hours I worked for it? Did I really need to go on a clothing shopping spree at H&M, you know, when I know what that cost me in terms of hours I have to spend at work? As I said, it's harder to do with a salary job because you're kind of just used to regular pay and you work 40 hours-ish per week, but you're not always on the clock. So I definitely recommend this if you have a salary to break down your hourly pay and to then start doing that calculation in your head the next time you go on a shopping trip. All right, the 10th and final money saving tip in this video is to use major appliances during non-peak hours. If you were ever growing up and your parents were yelling at you for doing laundry too early in the day or running the dishwasher when you weren't supposed to, there is a legitimate reason why they did that, and I actually understand it now that I'm an adult and paying for all of my own utilities. In a lot of cities, if you just use major appliances during non-peak hours, which, and where I live, it's like after 7 p.m. during the week and it's pretty much most of the weekend, you can always check your city to see when peak energy hours are. You can actually save, you know, a few $100s per year. It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna put up a little chart that shows for Toronto the difference between using major appliances during peak hours versus non-peak hours, and you can see that the cost is roughly cut in half. So I only do laundry before bed now, and I run the dishwasher at the same time. I've tried to get in the habit of, again, using things during non-peak hours, and this is just a really simple change. It's not gonna dramatically alter your day. Obviously, live your life. Don't let, you know, peak hours force you to live in the dark by candlelight like some kind of monk or something, but it's a simple trick and it'll help you save more money each year, so I definitely recommend getting into this frugal habit. All right, well, there you have it. Those are 10 different money saving tips you can use to save more money each year. As I mentioned, without the foundations in place like budgeting or tracking your income or investing, you're still fighting a bit of an uphill battle. So think of this video as more of an accent or addition to these foundations that'll help you go the extra mile with your savings. I also want to again reiterate that it's important to have fun and to actually enjoy your life. I think a lot of content out there focuses on being perfect all the time and that, you know, you can't make mistakes, you can't slip up, or you're going to go into debt. This isn't the case, and as long as you treat your finances largely as a case of, you know, a few steps forward and then maybe one step back, in the long run, you're going to see progress. Use the tips in this video to save that extra bit of money each month. Put it towards your savings or your investment or your financial future. Don't forget to buy Hot Pockets, and thank you so much for watching. As always, be sure to like the video and leave a comment letting me know what you think, or if you have another money saving tip that you think people should use. As always, if you don't want to miss out on new videos, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out thisonlineworld.com for more unique ways to make and save money. I will catch you guys in the next one.